You know, I've lived in this house over 30 years. Cape Cod style, modest, solid, good bones. Built in a time when folks weren't worried about insulation or energy loss. I never gave it much thought myself. I just chalked up the cold drafts and warm spots to old house charm. But things started to bother me. The upstairs felt like a sauna in the summer, and the basement had that musty smell I couldn't seem to shake. The heat pump ran its heart out, and still the rooms didn't feel right. My electric bill didn't feel right either, and I found out later I was paying to heat and cool air that was leaking right out of my home's shell. So I finally did it. Brought in someone to do one of those BGE-approved home energy audits. Hometrust Remodeling handled mine. Eric Gans came out and spent a good chunk of time diagnosing the house like a doctor checks vital signs. Only this was my house, and the test he ran showed exactly how it was breathing. They set up this big red fan in the front door, called a blower door test. It drops the air pressure inside and forces outside air to rush in through all the gaps and cracks. And let me tell you, I could feel the leaks. Spiderwebs along the rim joist fluttered like little flags, showing just how much outside air was sneaking in. That's when it hit me. I wasn't just losing comfort. I was losing control of my home's environment. We walked through the basement first. Turns out those old drop ceilings were a blessing. Easy access to the rim and band joist, which were wide open to the outdoors. Eric explained how sealing those gaps with spray foam and insulating to R19, as required by the Maryland program, would cut off a major source of air infiltration and moisture entry. I didn't realize it, but that's one of the leakiest parts of any home, especially older ones like mine. Then we went upstairs, and that's where things got really interesting. Behind the closets and under the roofline sits what they call a knee wall attic, a little side attic that's often forgotten. Mine looked like it had insulation, but the air coming through made it clear it was doing nothing. The problem? The space was still fully connected to the outside, and insulation without an air seal is like wearing a winter coat full of holes. Eric broke it down in plain terms. That entire area needed to be encapsulated with rigid foam sheeting and two-part spray foam to seal and insulate the roof slope, gable ends, and floor bays. Maryland's program says you need R30 on sloped attic surfaces and a 6-sided enclosure for insulation to work properly. I had none of that. What I had was a thermal bypass letting in outdoor air like an open crawl space. He said once that attic area is sealed and insulated properly, it becomes a semi-conditioned buffer zone. Not livable space, but no longer working against the HVAC system either. Makes the upstairs rooms more stable. Less drift, less temperature swing. It's the kind of detail most people miss, but it makes all the difference. Now let me say something about windows, because I've heard every complaint in the book. I've got newer windows, and I still felt air around them. But Eric explained something I won't forget. You fix the big leaks first. Most of your energy loss comes from the attic and basement, not the windows. And the air you feel around a window might actually be coming from the pressure imbalance caused by leaks elsewhere. Stack effect, he called it. Air rises and escapes through the attic, pulling cold air in through the lower parts of the house. Fix the top and bottom, and the middle stops suffering. And here's where it gets good. This whole project might qualify for up to $10,000 in rebates through BGE or Pepco's Home Performance with Energy Star program. And it's not a flat rebate either. It's performance-based, calculated by projected energy savings using software called Beacon HEA. That means you're rewarded for doing the work that actually matters. I've done plenty of home projects in my life, rewired switches, rebuilt decks, replaced siding. But this audit, this was different. It gave me a roadmap, not guesses, not sales talk. Real measurements, a real strategy. If I could go back 10 years, I'd have done this sooner. So if you're like me, living in a house that's seen some years, wondering why some rooms never feel right, Get the audit. Let someone who knows what they're doing, like Eric, show you what's really going on behind the walls. It's not just about saving energy. It's about taking back control of your home.